This morning I made a video. I asked Yoruba, is Para a Yoruba land? Why are you people not talking about the 172 people that was slaughtered by Fulani? Why are you people kept silent? Why are you people not talking? If it is about Igbo, you say Igbo, say Lagos is no man's land. You start coming to media, you make noise, you make all manner of threats. But your para 172 people were slaughtered by the terrorists, enabled by your Remi and your drug lord Tunumbu. None of you come out and make noise. Just because you have a deal with Fulani, just because you want to be that Yoruba is the one leading, you will cause yourself a very big damages that when you will realize that these damages has affected you, it might have or it would have eaten very deep on you people. And coming out of it will be very, 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 very disastrous. So Yoruba, you are ready. I have been in Yoruba land. I have been in Yoruba. I have seen that what they are after is they are ready to serve one man. They are ready to dobale. They call it dobale for one man, just for food. These are the most useless set of people on the earth. Remi Osuban, Remi, whatever they call her name, I don't want to care, is a terrorist woman. Her husband is a drug lord, a terrorist. Because that man called Tunumbu is ready to kill all Nigerians for him to go to still become the president, even though he's on the point of dying. Yet that president, whenever he hear that president, he will wake up from the dead. So I just want to make it known to Yoruba people that it is very, very obvious that their own is finished. They are finished. I am asking them if they are hearing my voice. This is a question that I want you to answer me. Is Kwara still a Yoruba land? Thank you very much. I yield my mic here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, King David, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, please go ahead before we go to the next one. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, our sister, the tutorial mistress. Thank you so much for holding us, bringing us together again today. And thank you, our brother, the Tottiville. Greeting from here. Onyenyere, greeting from here. Our minister, love, Akobundo. If I was saying Akobundo. Thank you so much, Minister. That was a wonderful submission, Minister Betty. Greeting from here, wonderful Biafrans, lovers of freedom. Greetings from here, and I send my greetings to our indefatigable Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere, our Information Minister, the best Minister of Information that Biafra could have in this 21st century, the Okokondem of our time, Mazi Soni Akbarawa. Greetings from here. All the cabinet members of Brigi, I doff my cap for you guys. The Biafran Defense Forces, Triple General Igwe Butuzo, and the chairman of the CDS Biafran Defense Council, Mazi Success. Greetings from here, Biafrans who are supporting the liberation of their land. Remember, today is yet another wonderful day to come and support our freedom. Very, very important. Greetings from here, and all protocols duly observed as have been established by the host and the co-host as well. So yes, I want to really talk on the issue of Nigerian total insecurity. Security failure has made Biafrans to be mentally tough. Yes, Nigeria is a contraption that everything is possible. You know, if you can remember some years ago, they told you that a snake, it went into their national daily as a news. Even NTA carried it that snake swallowed money. They also came out and told you that a monkey made away with billions and billions of dollars and naira as well. So Nigeria is a contraption that anything is possible. The security situation in Nigeria is something that it has the only solution to it is the division of that evil contraption, evil entity. But one thing is very, very important that Biafrans must bear in mind. Remember what our leader Mazin Nandekano said. He said that Nigeria will be destroyed beyond recognition. So while the security challenges are there, you will see that the issue of Nigeria for the world, the international community, the policymakers, the world leaders to see the porosity, to see the ineptitude, to see the atrocities that Nigeria have continued to commit against the indigenous people. Our leader, Mazin Nandekan, if you back to one of his broadcasts, he said that everything in that evil contraption will be destroyed. So while the security challenges are there, you see how the politicians are being exposed all over the world. In other words, why the world is knowing that Nigeria is a slaughter camp, is a slaughterhouse, is a place that is very, very dangerous for human beings to inhabit. It's an evil forest. It's a human abattoir. It is also made possible for the people to see that those who are in charge of the affairs of Nigerians are also animals in human clothing. So the issue of these politicians being exposed in America is something that our leader have already told us, made us to understand that at the time we finish with Nigeria, that name Nigeria will go into oblivion. And whenever they mention Nigeria, you'll be hiding your faces in shame. So this is what is applicable to all these politicians that are in Nigeria today. So the security challenges that Nigerian government are facing can never be abated. It has no solution. The only solution is the total disintegration of that evil forest called Nigeria. Very, very important. And the earlier Biafrans understand this, irrespective of whatever you have in Nigeria, irrespective of whatever you are gaining in Nigeria, either you are gaining political position, either you have property in Sokoto, in Kaduna, in Kwara State, either your children or your son married one Alhaji, the earlier you understand that the only thing that can guarantee your safety is Biafra, the better for us, Biafrans. So we are calling on Biafrans in diaspora in the homeland. This is the time for you to come on board and support Biafra Republic government in exile under the leadership of Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, because it is this government that is going to take us to our destination with what is being done in Washington, D.C. You don't need a soothsayer you don't need even a prophet to prophesy to you to tell you that something is actually happening. I came in, although it's not part of what we are saying, but let me just say this. I just budged into a video where some ignoramus, some people who want to continue to deceive Biafrans, some who want to continue to lie on the pedestal of IPOB in Nigeria, to continue to promote falsehood on social media. I saw where they were using it in order to garner some support to defraud our people of their hard-earned money, telling them that, oh, they want to fund whatever, they want to hire this and hire that. that, oh, that the actions of Briggy is not being recognized in Washington, D.C., or that Briggy is not making any wave, that Biafra is not being discussed. And I ask you, Biafrans who are listening, if you go to our website, www.biafranrepublicgovernment.org, all in small letters, you can be able to feed your eyes and use your tongue and count your teeth in what Briggy is doing with our lobbyists and our attorney in Washington, D.C. Then if you come in contact with people who try to deceive you, who try to tell you that, oh, what is being talked about is only Christian persecution, you ask yourself, all these meetings that the PM was having with Washington, D.C., even while the first prime minister was here, were they speaking about Christian genocide? Was Biafra not being brought to the table? Was the charter of Biafra not given to Washington, D.C.? All these senators, do they not have copies of the Biafran charter? So if they have the copies, inside the content of the Biafran charter, is it only Christian genocide that is being contained in the charter? That is for those of you who are listening to gossip. That is for those of you who want to be deceived by mere propaganda, by people who want to make money out of Biafran restoration project. So Biafran restoration is on top gear as we speak. Our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, in conjunction with our attorney and our lobbyist Elias, they are doing exceptionally well to make sure that even the security failures of Nigeria is used as a yardstick for the world to understand that Biafra is the only thing that can bring security, that can bring tranquility, that can restore the hopes of the people in that evil contraption called Nigeria. There is nothing else. So Nigerian government is doing everything possible to make sure they implement their template of Sharia. And in implementation of that template of Sharia, there must be insecurity all over Nigeria. You need to go down for Sharia to be implemented, because Sharia Islam is the only religion that have continued to grow faster than and faster. And they grow through conquest. They grow through invasion. They grow through conquest. They conquer you, they take over your land. Islam is the only religion that continue to do that. So for that to happen in Nigeria, you have to have security challenges. So the security challenges you have in Nigeria is man-made, and it is the government of Nigeria that is sponsoring it. And because of that, that have given the Biafran people the courage, the impetus to be able to know and stand on our ground that it is Biafra or Biafra. Because if we continue to make yourself available to Nigeria, for Nigeria to exist, you have to go down. Okay? For Nigeria to continue to exist as a contraption, you have to go down as a Christian. You have to go down as a Biafran. So that is the reason why we must stand our ground to support this government to make sure that Nigeria goes down. Because for Biafra to come up, Nigeria needs to go down. Thank you so much. I yield my mic because I'm being...
Okay. Thank you so much, King David, for your submission. Yeah. Thank you. God bless you. So, Biafrans, if you are just joining, kindly share the space. We will not take so much time. We have fundraising today. So, we'll be managing our time. We have a
So,
lot
okay,
to
sorry.
cover this
Let me
night.
just round up. Sorry, my dear sister. Let me just round up. Please, I'm so sorry. Somebody just distracted me. So, for Biafra to emerge, Nigeria need to go down. And our leader, Mazin Nandekan, made us to understand that Nigeria must be destroyed beyond recognition. How do we destroy Nigeria? Nigeria is being destroyed by disinformation, by all these atrocities that is happening in Nigeria, by creating that awareness, letting the world know of what Nigeria is all about. Are you surprised that a lot of people are coming up now and talking about, oh, there is Islamization this, there is Islamization that everybody need to separate, everybody need to go their separate ways? Is everybody surprised? But at 2015, when our leader was saying that, everybody was paying deaf ears. Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to ask Mazin and the Kano, how did you get this information? What should be done? Even when our leader gave them the expo on what should be done to make sure that the Islamization agenda never holds, they didn't listen. But right now, everybody is now talking about separation. Everybody is now telling you that the Islamization agenda is in top gear. It is that process of destroying Nigeria that is why you are seeing all these things happening. So for Nigeria to be buried eventually, the world, Nigerians as well need to know that Nigeria is unworkable. Nigeria is unsustainable. Nigeria is a human abattoir. So what you see happening in Kwara, what you see happening in Sokoto, what you see happening in Middlebelt and all the rest of this area, it needs to happen for the world to understand that yes, this is the time for Nigeria to be divided, for people to have a sense of belonging, for people to have peace, for people to live in peace, for people to develop. The world need to know. And if it does not happen, the world will not know. Now that it's happening, Biafran should capitalize on it. We have to create more awareness. We have to make people understand that our leader have said, we even give them references that our leader have said this time with that number. Is it now that you people are waking up? But Mbonye Jititora Wototo, yeah? Now that you people are waking up, we thank you. We appreciate that. Let us continue to support our government. The government of Brigi, under Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, is on top notch. They are doing exceptionally well in Washington, D.C. And remember, like our Prime Minister said, it is what they want to come to public, in the public domain, that the people will know about. Anyone that is not brought, it is not declassified. You are not going to know about it. So when you see them ranting and telling you, oh, Biafra is not discussed, this and that, ignore them. They want to get relevance. They want you to believe that they tell them to give you a link. Tell them to give you where you can go and read it up yourself. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Like we are telling you, if you go to our website, everything that I've said here is in the open. It is not hidden. So you can make judgment for yourself. And that is the reason why Martin Nandikanu said that we must be whiter than white and whiter than snow. How can you be whiter than white and whiter than snow? By making sure that everything you are doing is very much transparent. It is not hidden. We are not underground. We are visible. BRGIE is doing exceptionally well, visibly for the world to see. And that is why you can see the result that is happening today. Biafrans, today is another fundraising. Come and support the quest for restoration of Biafra, because it is capital intensive. Our lobbies, our attorneys, and the restoration itself need funding, need finance. And we are banking on every one of you to come and support Biafra restoration. Very, very important, so that we can go home earlier enough and our leaders will be released. Thank you so much. I've taken time. I yield my mic.
Thank you, King David. Please, we have to manage time. If not, we'll not be able to cover what is stipulated for today. And let's stick to what we are discussing in each of the sections so that we don't finish our talk in one session. That will make people to be more engaged in the space. And please also make good use of the comment section. You can drop your comment there and then we will integrate it as we are saying, going through the space. Don't just say, okay, I'm not on the mic, I cannot speak. We need comment from the comment section. Yeah, you can type something, we'll read it out. I always look at the comment section, please. Okay, thank you so much, King David. God bless you for that submission. So now we have finished with Remy. We will still integrate it later, how God have exposed her and disgraced her to the world. That people that did not even know her, They were able to see the face of the wife of the terrorist. Yes, in Washington, D.C. Going there to deceive the world. Oh, I'm the wife to the President Tinubu. They said, yeah, you are the wife to that man that fell down in Turkey. He said, yes, that is my husband. They said, but you look a little bit stronger than him. He said, don't worry. It's because he's on drugs. That is why he has been falling down anywhere he goes. It's not the first time. I'm here to represent the drug lord. She ended up disgracing herself. Yeah, secondly, if you are just joining the place, I've seen some people on the mic that are like this best Biafra. You have not shared the space. Kindly share the space in case you've forgotten. Please, if you are joining the space, kindly share the space. Thank you so much. So, do you know where all your money has been going to? All the one Nigerianists and all the Biafrans that are still believing that they are Nigerians. Are you aware that Nigeria altogether has paid 10.6 million US dollars for lobbying firms? Yes, so to hide the genocide that is going on in Nigeria. Yeah, not to protect you, not to develop any infrastructure, not to even provide security for you, but to American lobbyists to hide the truth about Christian persecution. You see, something is really happening now that I've seen. It is trending. I don't know if you're against that, you can put in the comment section. It's like everybody is out there to get money from those that claim they are Nigerians. Once you open your mouth and say, I can convince Washington, D.C. to hide the genocide, bam, they give you contract. Like the one Choma Akoma is doing. People know that they cannot deliver, but because you have promised to pay them, excuse me, they accept the deal. We know very well. Now they are changing their tone. Oh, you see, the man is not going to enter into Finnish court. He's just going to connect internationally, connect with EU, connect with UK, connect with France, in case they want to repatriate our former prime minister. If you were the man, what will you do? This is business. You will collect the contract, but you know deep down inside you that there is a government called Biafra Republic Government in Exile. That these people don't have the legal entity to even contract you. But what are you supposed to do? Collect the money. Go to Finland, collect money for your hotel. You can go with your family, spend time, and then come back and tell them lies. They will believe because they are stupid people. The same people that fought against Aman Dabiri from connecting with our prime minister, the same people now are going to get external lawyer to still go to that same Finland. No be juju be that. So what is also playing out, excuse me, is the same with Nigeria. Once they hear that there is a lobbying firm here, and then they contract the person, you say, I can do it. I'm very close to Trump. I'm very close to this one. I'm very close to that one. Give me money. So everybody is sharing money to anyone that says, I can deliver. That is what is trending now. So right now, Nigeria has gone into 3 contracts. AU, 3 contracts. Yes, I will break this contract. I'll break it down contract by contract, dollar by dollar, name by name, so that we understand fully the full scale of this corruption. Please, if I say anyone that it doesn't align, just hold on when you pick the mic and you can give your own submission. Yeah, if you have anything to add to what I'm saying and you are not on the mic, you can use the comment section. Now we know the general one, which is DCI group. 9 million to deny the genocide, right? And we know that in December 2025, the terrorist country, through a law firm, we know the law firm, Asta Legal in Kaduna, they signed a contract with DCI Group on behalf of Ribadu. And they have a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C. Aha. We know that one. And now, we know that they have been paid according to the contract language to do what? Communicate Nigerians' efforts to protect Christians to the United States government and counter allegations of genocide. Now, this is the money that they pay to this lobbying firm. Effort to protect, not that they are protecting. So when you see Christians being killed today, they are not going against what the contract stipulated, because the contract did not say to communicate Nigerians protecting Christians. The contract said to communicate Nigerians' effort to do what? To protect. So it is very, very passive. It is inactive right now. That is the reason you see them killing Christians, because they did not say protecting. I don't know if you are following me. And now they are being paid this money, 750,000 to tell Washington DC that Nigerian Christians are not being persecuted and that there is no genocide, that allegations of religious violence are just exaggerated. You see what is happening? 9 million to deny what happened this week. Over 300 Christians that were massacred. 9 million. And they have another contract, which is the second one, with BGL groups. BGL group, they are to pay them 900,000 US dollars for more propaganda. Now, look at what is happening. On January 23rd this year, just 2 weeks ago, they
Everybody, this is Judd Saul, the Executive Director of Equipping the Persecuted.
so they have such a man, but they cannot fight against. Of them before yesterday. And they call this one Valcom Global, 720,000 US dollars for just Trump connection. So Nigeria still was not done. So when this happened on December 15th, Martin Engineering signed another contract with a firm called Valcom. So Martin Engineering have signed 2 good contracts. Did you see what is happening? First one with BGR, and then the second one with this Valcom. So this one is particularly important because of who is running this Valcom, which is Matt Mower. And this Matt Mower served as a senior White House advisor in the State Department during Trump's first administration. And he has direct connection to the Trump's team. Very, very correct. He knows how to navigate. When you are close to someone, you know how to navigate, to have one-on-one discussion with that person. And his team also include teenage Congressman John Tanner, another heavyweight lobby. And then, the battle, if we understand what is happening now, as Biafrans, with this mental toughness, the battle now is between our lobbying firm, Washington and Madison LLC, and Nigerian government. They have hired 3 lobbying firms to counter the work of the Biafra Republic government in exile and what our lobbying firm is doing. So in total, 10.6 million in 6 months have been disbursed. 10.6 million. DCI 9 million, BGR 900,000. I don't know if my mathematics is correct. And then Valcor 720,000 in 6 months. I think if you add that, you have 10,620,000 or thereabouts. You see, this money could have been used to do something tangible in Nigeria. They would have used it to build multiple trauma centers in Benue, where people are being attacked frequently. They would have even used this money to train and equip communities with security personnel. I said, okay, gather your youth, take weapons here. But they refused to do that. They did not do it. They would have used this money to also drill boreholes, as Rallimon went and said, oh, that where he went to, he saw that there was no sanity in the place. Nothing like that happened in the place. No borehole, no first aid, no medical attention, nothing. They would have used this money to build schools to replace the dozens that have been destroyed, or even compensate families that have been massacred, the victims that are left. But they did not. Instead, that money went to American public relations firm to tell America that Christians are not being persecuted. That is what they used the money for. To counter allegations of genocide. You see, when you go back to the congressional exposure, because that briefing that they had, they exposed Nigeria very, very deep. Because you could see that all this lobbying did not work. U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee, they held a briefing, hearing that titled Defending Religious Freedom Around the World. And Nigeria was front and center of this hearing. Everybody talked about Nigeria. Congressman Chris Smith, who is the chairman of the African Subcommittee, directly called out this lobbying contract. And I'm going to say exactly what he said. He said, I am deeply concerned that Nigeria hired the lobbying firm DCI Group to the tune of $9 million US. That is $750,000 per month. And a Nigerian billionaire has entered into 120,000 a month contract with Valcor. You now know the millionaire I'm talking about. The Mantle Engineering. That is, he's already a billionaire. So he has entered into this contract with Valcor to influence Congress and the executive branch. He said, they hired these firms. They came up with their very well, did you hear that? Very well written talking points to say nothing to see here. And unfortunately, these firms are just so good at advocating for their clients. Nigeria did not go for my people. They went for heavyweight lobbying firm. You could see that Chris Smith said that they are so good at advocating for their clients. And he continued. He said the lobbying deals appear to be aimed at what? Downplaying serious human rights and religious freedom violation. You see, the only savior that we have is that the people that make up this committee, they know fully well what is happening in Nigeria, and they cannot manipulate them. So what the lobbyists have done does not have impact on them. So when the lobbying firm go and have meeting with such people like this, Smith and all of them, they'll say, back one side. We already know what is happening. You cannot lobby us to call white black and black white. Because we are Christians. It's not about money. It's about the lives of Christians that are perished, slaughtered viciously every day in Nigeria. Because we have had first-hand information. So when you look at what is happening now, the man really knows the aim of this lobbying, that their aim is to downplay serious human rights and religious freedom violation in Nigeria. In other words, that they are collecting money to come and tell us there is no genocide. And Trump came out and said yesterday during the breakfast prayer meeting that there is genocide going on in Nigeria, and he bragged about how they carried out their strike to deal with ISIS. He did not mince word, showing that the lobbying is not working. So when a U.S. senior congressman in an official hearing is publicly calling out Nigeria for spending millions to hide Christian persecution, he's not saying it is not working. And he's saying he's saying that it is not working. We are above this level. You cannot confuse us. So the lobbying contracts have been exposed because he knows their aim to downplay the genocide. The strategy has been revealed, and the Congress is pushing forward anyways with sanctions. You see what is happening? So it means a lot to us Biafrans, which we have to put our houses together and come together and fund our freedom, because the United States of America will not give us our freedom on a platter of gold. They have seen that Nigeria is already a complicit in killing Christians. They cannot deceive the international forum anymore. So the 9 million lobby has failed, and every other lobby, now you've heard that there are 3 contracts that Nigerian terrorist country have signed out. This is the reason why you have seen US boots on the ground. They have lost it. Despite spending this million, despite hiring the most expensive firms and employing Nigerian billionaires to wine and dine with congresspersons, Nigeria still could not stop what happened. Remember what Nigerian officials were saying just months ago? Oh, they said American military intervention would never happen. The same way they said Muslim ticket is not going to happen. And they said it was Biafra propaganda. Oh, they said the US would never violate Nigeria's sovereignty. And they've been spending all these millions, to hide the Christian persecution. And then what happened? We saw the airstrike in December. And early February, what happened? We saw the US African forces deployed to Nigeria immediately. America boots are now on Nigeria ground. Back. 9 million and every other 10.620 million wasted. The lobbying failed. You see? And now Nigerian officials, they are panicking because they know what this means to them. They had to run to Turkey. They know that once American forces are on the ground, Nigeria's freedom to act with impunity is over. They know that US intelligence will see everything. And accountability is coming as well. Why are they in Nigeria, not in Biafra land? It is something a question some people are still asking. There is this information that every Biafra needs to understand. And I will try with my speakers that will pick the mic. The USA strike on Christmas Day targeted Sokoto State, which is the heart of the Sokoto Caliphate, the seat of the Islamic Authority in northern Nigeria. Until today, as we speak, Sultan of Sokoto has not come out of the shock. And you see that the US forces that have now deployed are operating primarily in the north and northeast part, in areas where Boko Haram, ISWAP, Lakurawa are all operating, and all the 22 terrorist groups, they are there. But they are not deployed in Biafra land. They are not in the southeast region, which is Biafra land. They are not in Old Akwa Ibom or Old Cross River or Old Anambra and the rest. No, they are not there. And this is the people that the Nigerian terrorists have labeled a terrorist organization, which is aligning with Turkey for them to send their weapons to come and kill us. They claim that we, Biafrans, agitators, are the security threat to them. Okay. They've called us so many names, unknown gunmen. They are terrorizing, destabilizing the country. For years, they have used this narrative to justify military operations in our Biafra land, killing our youths, harvesting their organs, and selling their body parts. They have done everything possible to suppress our movement. But when the United States, the world's most powerful military, with the world's best intelligence agency, deploy forces to Nigeria to fight terrorism, where do they go? They did not come to Biafra land. They went to where the terrorists are. They went to Sokoto. They went to Borno, to the places where the actual terrorists are, hiding, which Donald Trump called ISIS school. This is a proof. This is a validation. This is the United States telling the world Biafrans are not the terrorists. Telling Finland that Simon Ekpa, previous prime minister, is not a terrorist and he was never involved in anything terrorism. Telling Nigerian government that have denied Awonyendu and denied him freedom and sent him to Sokoto prison that he is not a terrorist. That he was only fighting for the freedom of his people. And everything Awonyendu said have come to pass. They are slaughtering people. Because if we were the real threat, US forces would be deployed to our region. But they were not, because US intelligence community knows the truth. You cannot derail them from the truth. They know that we, Biafrans, we are undergoing what they call self-determination movement. And it is not a crime. We are not a terrorist group. All the accusations are lies. But you know what? I just want to clarify two different scenarios here. Current deployment versus bringing strategic proposal that we made. Now, let's look at the two situations right now before I pass the mic. Because I know some of us might be confused or have questions about this US military presence, especially because the Biafra Republic government in exile has publicly stated an independent Biafra would offer United States military base rights. Is there in the document? Because of time, I cannot extract it out and start reading. So I just want to try my best to clarify these crucial differences between these two scenarios, because understanding this distinction is very, very important. Now let's look at the scenario one, which is the current US deployment. This is happening right now in Nigeria, and if you look at this scenario, it's a temporary one and a limited deployment of the US military specialists invited by the Nigerian government, even though they have come out to deny. Nigerian government signed an agreement with US agency when they went to Rome. So the document is there. They cannot deny it. You see? So now, the current situation now, Nigerian government invited these people to come. To do what? They had a purpose. And the purpose was to assist Nigerian forces in fighting Boko Haram, in fighting ISWAP, and the remaining 20 terrorist jihadist group that they have. And they are primarily in northern Nigerian state, like Sokoto, Borno, and all that, where the jihadis are operating. And it has, temporary mission, not a permanent base. And they are operating under Nigerian sovereignty. Nigeria can, theoretically ask them to leave at any time. Do they have a scope? The answer is yes, they have a scope. Advisory. They are to give, share intelligence. They are to carry out training and targeted operations against specific terrorist group. Let's see how it will work. And it has, benefit to Biafrans in the sense that it's, indirectly, it proves that we are not terrorists by where they deploy these people. And it also validates Christian persecution narrative. You see, this deployment exists within the framework. My people listen, within the framework of the current Nigerian state. So the US is working with Nigeria, however reluctantly on Nigeria's part to address jihadist terrorism. So these forces are not there to protect Biafra specifically. Get that right. They are there because the massacre got so bad that the US had to intervene to prevent genocide-level events. The second scenario now has to do with we Biafrans now, which we have to look at the bringing proposal for a US military base in independent Biafra. This is future strategic vision. Yes. So we don't have to mix up the two. The one Brigid did is a permanent strategic partnership that would exist after Biafra independence. That is, if we are ready. If we are ready, because it is in our hands. It is never in the hands of our leaders in prison. For those of you fighting freedom, fighting like lily livered people, attaching your freedom with emotions to your leaders that are in detention, waiting for them to give you advice. So if you want U.S. military base to be stationed in Biafra land, they will come after our independence. Now, who will be the one, a sovereign nation, an independent Biafran government, not the current Nigerian government that will invite them. Our government will be the one that will invite them. And the purpose will be long-term strategic partnership, counter-terrorism, regional stability, protecting democratic governance and securing energy resources, containing all Islamic expansion in West Africa. And the location will be in Biafra territory, with access to the Gulf of Guinea. It's not going to be temporary. It's going to be permanent military base. Like the US have their base in Japan. I think they also have in Germany and the rest. Even South Korea, they have. So they will, operate under Biafra sovereignty in partnership with Biafran government that shares Western democratic values. Will they have a scope? Yes. Full military base with rapid response capability, intelligence sharing, operational top-notch. Of course, we know United States. Counter-terrorism coordination, even training of our Biafra forces. So we're going to have a benefit, direct benefit. We are going to have economic investment through that, diplomatic recognition and all that, and protection from the Nigerian aggression because they will not back down. So this will be, a voluntary partnership between two sovereign states, which will be United States of Biafra and United States of America. So it will be similar to how the US has bases in allied countries around the world, which we are going to share mutual benefits. So these two scenarios are completely different. Completely different. I don't know if I'm making sense. Can anybody still hear me? Anyway. Okay. So I don't hear you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if anybody have anything to say under this on this topic before we now go to the main topic of so to others. Then the next one will be this Turkey hypocrisy, and then the what really happened during the congressional hearing. Thank you so much, my co-host, if you are there.
Yeah, Tutos, because of time, let's take some people that their hands are stay up. Make it not be like say, they allow them to. Mazi David, we'll come back to you, please. Let's take Mr. Betty Ford. Mr. Betty Ford, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. I've been listening to all of you, making a very powerful submission, talking to Biafrans and the world at large. I thank all of you. My darling sister, I always love you. I love you so much. And I say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Biafrans all over the world, wonderful people. But unfortunately, most of us don't know how beautifully God has made us. We are powerful people. Everybody is scared of the presence of Biafrans. But some of us don't appreciate it. That's why they are running away. So my greetings goes to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa. They are powerful leaders. And I pray to God Almighty to guide our current Prime Minister, Mazi Ogenkere, give him wisdom and strength to keep carrying on. Biafrans, we all know that today is our fundraising, and we all know the time, Biafra time, 7 p.m. Try and be there. No matter what we are told, the most important is our funding. I mean here is Breji Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Anyone who is not aligning with this government may be talking of something else and not for Biafra freedom and restoration. So I stand on the existing protocols. I have heard what my sister said, every detailed information he is giving us. You all know that Sheikh Tinubu never liked Igbos. Igbos, the 40 United States of Biafra, she doesn't like us right from time. And I don't know what gave her that impetus to talk to Biafrans, but I don't blame them. The Yorubas were meant from time by the British to support the Fulanis because Fulanis are very minor in number. So the Yorubas have been, strategized, put in place to support the Fulani, and they are doing it without minding how many people killed in their land. Now, we all know that America, turning to Africa, let me use the word Africa, in West Africa, Nigeria, as they are called, the zoo, is because of our testimonial by our PM and the PM leading us on the 18th of September 2025 to Capitol. And after that, the President of America, the most powerful man on earth, he sent Senator Riley Moore. And he went. Despite the fact that Nigeria government have spent, they first of all paid 2.7 million and subsequently 9 million, making it 11.7 million. America never, they never gave any cognizance of those amount of money they are spending. You see, any country that places money before its citizens is nobody you will be standing talking about. Nigeria does not value human life, especially when you are a Biafran, because this was what they did during the war.
Minister Betty, sorry for the interjection. They are still there. They spent another $9,000 again for a new lobbyist. In case maybe you missed that part.
No, I missed that part. Okay, I missed that part. All right. So even if they spend the whole billions in the world, 100 billion, will that replace the life of one innocent citizen in that country? First of all, they deny that it's not only Christians being killed. Even if you are killing a Muslim, does anyone deserve to die because you want to preach your religion or you want to spread it across? As my brother David said, these people are the only Islamic religion. They are the only ones that never stop spreading their gospel. They are the ones that never stop. So any Biafran sabotaging us, like all these breakaways, you are wasting your time because you can never get the Islamic religious group in Nigeria to stop. This was what they did to Biafrans during the war. They lied to the world against Biafrans, and the whole world came and joined them and conquered Biafrans. They lied again. No victor, no vanquish. Let us continue. Let the 3 R's be applied. They never applied it till today. So we cannot be waiting for somebody that your enemy is detaining to come out from prison or to be directing you from the prison, which you all know that is impossible. It's impossible. What they are after is using your brothers, like all these breakaways. They are all working for Nigeria, whether you like it or not. They are using them to wage war against us. Because anybody that will detain somebody like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and allow somebody like Gumi and Malami, Pantami, Kashim Shetima to be walking the whole street, and even Tinubu, a Yoruba that went to join them, because right from time 1914 to any time Yorubas have been made to support the Fulanis, and it's not hidden. So there is no amount of money they will pay to any lobbyist or any lobbying group that will make America to say that, oh, we do not value a religious freedom anymore, or that human rights should be trampled upon because you want to preach your religion. We don't worry Muslims. We don't disturb them. But they are the ones always disturbing, killing our people, burning churches, killing priests, killing pastors, destroying innocent lives. So now that America is in Nigeria, is a plus plus to our quest for freedom. So if you love Biafra to come, if you really want Biafra to come, if you are not using Biafra to make what is it called again, content creating, come this evening and demonstrate it, your willingness to see that Biafra comes. So Biafrans, we still have IOU. IOU loan, is it not better you give us the loan than going to build your house in Yoruba land or in Kaduna or Kano, and they will demolish it? Currently, they made a map or map of Nigeria or census or whatever they counted, and they said that Igbos are not part of them. Are we not going to rejoice about that? Because they already know that we have left them. They said that Igbos are not part of history in Nigeria. Of course, we are not. We never wanted it. They forced our forefathers to get merged and amalgamated. So, Biafrans, do not go to these people's platform. If you go there, don't allow anything they're telling you to sway you into believing something that is not right. We are Biafrans, and we are the endangered species. We are the Christians. There is no Muslim or Islamic religion in Biafra land. From Nsukka, where our boundary started, down to Akwa Ibom, down to Iguacha, back to Sapele or Warri, Edo, anywhere. We don't worship as Muslims. They should leave us alone. And if you are genuinely fighting for this freedom, please come and donate this evening. I don't want to take time or deviate from our sisters' topics, because I love to respect people's feelings, because it takes our time to research about all this and lecture all of us. I appreciate you, my sister, so much. You are very powerfully recognized in this our freedom, and God will reward you and many people. Toti Onyenye, all of you, David, Love, my darling sister, Ben Oabo, James, 1 million, Veteran, and Emeka Socrates, Nsi, and many of us here, Rage and Fury. I love you people so much, because you are all powerfully planted to do this work of Biafra. We are going home. Americans are not fools. You cannot bring billions to America trying to bribe them, because they're a very wealthy country. All they want, all they advocate for is peace and respect for human life. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless each and every one of us here. And I say, please join us 7 p.m. for the fundraising. Thank you all, and all hail Biafra. Thank you.
All hail Biafra, Mama. Thank you, our mother in the house, Honorable Minister Mama Betty Lolo. Thank you so much. King David, I will give you the mic very soon, please. Yeah, there is a message here in the Jumbotron. Please, Biafrans, click it and then spread the message for everyone to hear that there are scammers everywhere. Do not give them your money. And please, if you are just joining this space, kindly share this space. It is very important. David, just 1 second, please.
Thank you so much. First of all, he who wants
just give me 1 minute, please. We are going to do wonders. I want you all to understand that we're in a very big battle. Battle for freedom is not for little liver people. It's not for kids. Battle for freedom, there's no cost for people to get freedom. So freedom is not meant for people that are too emotional. It's not meant for people that somebody will talk this and talk that and then begin to shiver. No, I am born for Biafra to come, and I'm going to help Mazina Bikano to get Biafra. Believe me. Go and mark today's date. I want to assure Biafrans, so long as you continue to stand on your freedom, I will be there for you. So long as you continue to maintain that you have a right to live, I, Samoneba, will be there. Any day, anytime.
David, you have the mic, please.
Thank you so much, our sister, for playing that wonderful voice of our first Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekwanjoko. You know, he said it all. This freedom is not for lily-livered. You don't fight freedom with sentiment, and you can't be too emotional. But let me speak on what I wanted to say. You know, there's a saying that goes that he who wants to go to equity must go with what? Clean hands. Your hands must not be dirty. The Nigerian government wants to go to equity in America. Are they going with clean hands? The answer is no. Their hands is filled with blood. Even as they are going, there are living traces of the human blood on their way. So, are they going to succeed? It is not going to happen. Now, dear friends, we must be very grateful to Chukwu Okike Abiama. I'm very thankful to our leader, Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, because our leader made us to understand that the Nigerian government, I'm trying to speak on the budget of the lobbying firm that our sister Tuto spoke about. Our leader, Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, in the initial stage, he made us to understand that the Nigerian government earmarked $20 billion in order to fight against the Biafran Restoration Project. And you were wondering, the CNN, the Al Jazeera's of this world, the mainstream medias of this world, even the Zoo media, they were not carrying any news that are related to Biafra because of that money that was given to them in order to buy their silence. What it means is that if the $20 billion that was earmarked for free to fight against Biafra could not work, it did not work. They did not succeed. Even when they succeeded in kidnapping our leader, even when they succeeded in arresting our prime minister, it did not work. Okay? That $20 billion was useless. And now, the Nigerian government, you know, when our leader said that, a lot of people said, oh, how do you know? What is the evidence? But our leader was speaking on a mandate that was given to him by Chukwu Okike Abiama. He said what he knows. Now, the people of Nigeria, now Biafrans, before your very eyes, that the American government wants to hold Nigerian government into account. Nigeria is releasing millions of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars in order to stop the American Congress, in order to stop the number one citizen of the world from holding them into account. Now, it really boils down to the same thing our leader, Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, said, that Nigerian government are spending huge sums of money in order to make sure that Biafra is not restored. What is the take home here, Biafran, just like our sister said, is that Nigerian government are not ready to bring so-called, they are not ready for the solution
that will make sure that the people that are killed in Nigeria, that the people that the Christian genocide or those who are displaced, they are not going to take action in order to remedy the situation. No, they rather prefer to spend more money in order to make sure that the atrocities that they are committing, they silence it. But you know the good thing? The good thing is that the world knows everything. No matter how Nigerian government try to cover it, the killings are there, the genocide are there, the I use it to lobby America, to lobby white favor. They must surely come to pass. So, Biafrans, join and fund your liberation, because this is the time for us to be free. Thank you so much. I just want to point that out, my sister.
Thank you, King David. My co-host, can I continue? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Biafrans, you see, we want to talk about the hypocrisy with Turkey. Weapons, and they came out to condemn the killings that is happening. You know, I want to go through this before we go into the congressional hearing. I just want to talk about what happened with Turkey and Nigeria briefly. You see, they have Islamization network, and that is from Turkey to Pakistan and from Palestine to the D8. And on January 27, that is this year, I think barely 10 days ago, or 11 or so, we saw Tinubu that signed 9 agreements with Turkish president in Ankara. And the agreements included military cooperation protocols, defense industry collaboration, and intelligence sharing arrangements. And the person that was there signing it with them was Biafrans. She was there in Ankara, where they dragged her like a goat to be sold. You saw the video where they pulled her, and she was there smiling stupidly, smiling at a Fulani man that used cow urine to wash his hand and head, dragging her like a she-goat. And she doesn't even have stamina herself. She was so unstable, she would have fallen down. She was smiling because she has belittled herself to the level that she lacks dignity. I remember when they wanted to give her that appointment, our former prime minister told her, don't accept this appointment. Money is not your problem. Fame is not your problem. People spoke against it, but she went on to the appointment. They promised her heaven and earth, and today they have rubbished her because if you touch me like that in the public, I'll slap you. It was very, very disgraceful. So she was there representing Nigeria, while Biafrans are systematically targeted and killed. So, if we put aside the symbolic fall of Tinubu, we need to just have a little understanding about this agreement. We had a space on this, I think, last week. So Turkey is now Nigeria's largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. The Turkish companies, as we speak, have invested $400 million. The Nigeria Air Force has purchased Turkish drones with and a 6-attack T-129 helicopters. So this is not just comments as a claim. This is a military integration between Nigeria and Turkey. And now, immediately after this agreement, we have evidence, visual evidence that Turkish weapons are being deployed in Biafra land. How come? You see why I told you that when they say that they're coming to fight terrorism, they're joining hands together with Nigeria to fight terrorism. I told you that terrorism in the context of Nigeria and Turkey is Biafra land. All of us Biafrans are categorized as terrorists. in Nigerian context. So for us to see the evidence of Turkish weapon in Biafra land, it didn't take us by surprise, because the only terrorists that Turkey knows are the Biafrans. Okay? That was, I think, February 3rd, just a few days ago. Circulating, that image was circulating all over social media. And our defense also made a video on that. Turkish firearms in the hands of forces operating against our people. These are not just AK-47 from Eastern Europe. These are weapons that came through the agreement Nigeria signed with Turkey. And I don't really blame them. I blame Biafrans that are sitting on the fence, putting their leg in Brigi, putting one leg in a BCG, putting one hand in Rabu Fulani, and putting one other hand in DOS. I blame them. Because this money, these weapons were all purchased with our oil money. Yes, to kill Biafrans. And you could see that the former ambassador during the congressional hearing a few days ago, Ambassador Brambach, warned the U.S. Congress about this. He said, and he specifically mentioned Turkey as one of the countries whose involvement in Nigeria's security environment could do what? Further complicate stability. Because these people know Turkey more than us. Further complicate stability. That is a diplomatic language. They have the intelligence. They know who Turkey is. They know who I call him Erdogan, the president of Turkey. They know who he is, and they know his aim and objective. They know the purpose of the alignment and all the 9 agreements they signed with Turkey and Nigeria. They know the content, and they know it is deadly. Yeah. So what it means is that Turkey will enable the oppression of Christians. And it is happening. The first port of call or the first port of execution was in Biafra land with their name stamped on it. If you have not seen the video, go and look for it. It is there. Provide the tools for Islamic expansion in Biafra land. Turkey will not pressure Nigeria to protect minority because Turkey itself crushes minority cults. They crush Armenians, they crush Assyrians, they crush Greeks. You see what is happening? So that Turkey we know under this Erdogan is not the secular Turkey state that we knew before. It is a new Ottoman project with explicit target, which is Islamist ambition. That is the target of this man. And Nigeria is aligning with it, not just economically, but militarily and intelligence-wise. They are colluding. And the 9 agreements included a media and communication MOU. Who signed it? Bianca Ojukwu was the one that signed this agreement, because she knows, they know very well that we are here in the media space to counter every narrative, false narrative from the from the Nigerian terrorist government. We are here to counter every false narrative from Okoma because they are working for Nigeria. We are here to counter every false narrative from the Nigerian DOS and the Rabu Fulani. We are here to counter every false narrative from the Nigerian media itself, like the one that happened today. We have come out to say, no. This is the reason why Donald Trump called this woman, she's a pastor, she's this, she's that, because the Nigerian media will never focus on that. They want to carry the false narrative. So that is why we are here. And the person that signed that agreement is Bianca Ojukwu, so that she will now use her influence to suppress us, not knowing that she will be belittled in an open that everybody saw it, being dragged like a she-goat. You see? They will not tell her, you have to go and control your people, let them censor what information they want to pass out. But you know what? We are not under Bianca Ojukwu. Bianca Ojukwu is a Nigerian. And she will not succeed. They will use her because this department that she signed, this particular agreement, has no influence on us. We are here to deal with even her, Bianca Ojukwu. So she will fail and the Nigerian terrorist government will come after her because she will not be able to deliver. She is the one that propagated that fake information, that emotional information. Why? Because they have a target. Once they bring out this emotional scandal fundraising scheme, Biafrans now, who are emotionally attached to Simon Ekpa and want his release today, tomorrow, will stop to donate money to Briggy. That is distraction. And Bianca Ojukwu is aware of it because she was the one that signed the document under Minister of State for Defense for our ex-Prime Minister to be jailed. That was the assignment they gave to her, and she executed it very well, perfectly well. So she has come back to control the narrative, and we are here to tell her that you came very late. They don't want us to tell the truth about the Christian persecution that is going on. You see what is happening? So this is a total warfare. And then you see Palestinian connection coming in. While all of this was happening, while the US Congress was calling Nigeria the deadliest place for Christians, what was Nigeria doing that same day, 4th of February? Minister of Foreign Affairs, Tuga, the same Tuga that returned from Turkey. That same Tuga hosted the Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Abu, for high-level consultation. What are they discussing? And he said in his handle, he said, the meeting was to strengthen bilateral relations between Nigeria and the state of the Palestine. And to do what? Review consular, humanitarian, and regional issues of mutual concern. What is this mutual concern we are talking about? Nothing more than Islamization. Coming to check where they have shot their arrows to, where it has landed. Did it penetrate Biafra land? Especially now that our defense came out and said we are here, the poison did not kill us. So they had to immediately organize meeting. Palestinians say, you don't know what you can do. Nigeria said, no, we need your help. Because for them to say, review consular, what are you reviewing? And regional issues, which region? Palestinian is not in Africa. So which regional issue of mutual concern are they discussing? The only region that they can discuss, because of the fear of our defense, is Biafra region. Because they are not comfortable that our defense are out. So what is the aim of this alliance? While Christians are being massacred in Benue, while bombs are being found in churches in Abia State, old Abia State, and people are fleeing their villages in Ebonyi, the Nigerian government is prioritizing diplomatic relations with Palestine. They don't care. The Nigeria recognized the state of Palestine. You saw when Shetima said it in UN last time. And they've consistently voted for the Palestine at the UN nation because Palestine is a member of what? OIC and the G8. And we saw how they condemn Israel. We saw how they condemn United States of America. And Nigeria supplied crude oil to Middle Eastern countries that fund Islamic movements globally. And if you go through research, you will see that Nigeria accounted for 9% of crude oil supply to Israel between 2023 and July 2024. And where is the oil coming from? From Biafra land. So they are supporting Palestine while it's, oil fuels conflict across the region. That is what is happening here. But it is deeper in reality because Nigeria's and Palestine solidarity is not about justice for oppressed people. No. Because if it were, Nigeria would care about oppressed Biafrans. They will care about oppressed middle belt Christians. They will care about oppressed minority within its own borders. But no, the reverse is the case. Their solidarity is about Islamic identity politics. That is why they had this meeting, positioning Nigeria as a champion of Muslim causes on the global stage. That is their aim and objective. And it comes at a cost. The cost is paid by Nigerian Christians. And when you're saying Nigerian Christians, those are Biafrans. You know what? Oh my God. The D8 organization is not only for economic cooperation. Out of the OIC members that there are 57, D8, they have carved out 8 countries to come and form what they call D8. As an economic alliance of 8 Islamic countries, we have the Bangladesh, we have the Egypt, we have Indonesia, we have Iran, we have Malaysia, we have Nigeria, we have Pakistan, we have Turkey. It was founded in 1967 by who? This Turkey, it was then the then Turkish Prime Minister Abakan. And what was the goal? The goal was to foster cooperation among major Muslim majority developing nations. So the combined population of these 8 countries is over 1.2 million people and 60% of all Muslims worldwide. So Nigeria is a founding member, and Nigeria has hosted D8 summit and ministerial meetings in Nigeria, and people are not asking questions. All the Christian senators are not asking questions. Even Nigerians themselves that are Christians are not asking questions. I don't know what is wrong with the people that are inside that contraption. Everything has been contracted, including their brains. Now, if you look at the pattern here, you see that, Nigerian-Turkey cooperation, Nigeria-Pakistan cooperation, Nigeria-Iran cooperation, all these people have signed cooperation between ending of last year and January this year. That is what is happening. They have stated clearly, peace instead of conflict. Oh, dialogue instead of confrontation, and cooperation instead of exploitation. Justice instead of double standard. But is that what they are practicing? The answer is no. Those are their principles, but they are not practicing. Very beautiful words, as you heard me say. If these are truly the values of the D8 members, why are Christians being killed in Nigeria with impunity and they are not saying anything? Why are Biafrans marginalized? Why are the minorities oppressed? These principles only apply within the Muslim world. That's it. They do not apply to Christians. They do not even apply to Biafrans. And Turkey, as we know as of today, keeps on oppressing Kurds and Christians, including Iran. So when they are talking about peace, they are not practicing peace. They are not. And remember that all of them are also members of the OIC with 57 members. And they describe themselves as the collective voice of the Muslim world, working to do what? To safeguard and protect the interests of Muslims worldwide. And Nigeria is a member. Nigeria is a member. Who took Nigeria there? We have done program on this, so I will not go back there. Nigeria is a member of OIC. So when Christians are massacred in Nigeria, they are quiet. They don't want to say anything because they are protecting their aims and their objective. OIC mandate is to protect Muslim, not non-Muslim. And Nigeria being a membership in the OIC, they have to, abide to this Islamic solidarity network that prioritize Muslim interests over Christian survival. That is why the killing have escalated. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Anybody telling you that Nigeria unity is not negotiable, tell the person that you are lying. That means you want Christians to be killed every day. How many hours? In less than, within 72 hours, how many Christians have been killed? More than 300 Christians have been killed. And what did we see that happen? We saw a message from Turkey. On that same date, Erdogan issued a statement. Oh, I've condemned the massacre. 162 Christians in Kwara. And his statement called it a tragic loss of innocent lives. I was like, for real? And expressed solidarity with Nigeria in fighting terrorism. Oh, God. What led to the death of these 162 Christians in Kwara State? I don't know. I want somebody to please help me. Is this not the state that they told them to denounce Nigeria and accept Sharia? Please, I need help. Is this not the state? Thank you so much, my co-host. So you could see that his message was a mockery. This is the Sharia that he wants to, implement in Nigeria. So for him to come out and say that he is condemning the massacre of 162 Christians in Kwara, this is a mockery. Very big mockery. Just 10 days earlier, Turkey and Nigeria signed 9 comprehensive agreements, including military cooperation. And Turkish-made drones to Nigeria. Light weapons, everything to Nigeria. We have evidence. Turkey sells weapons to Nigeria. Those Turkeys end up in the weapons end up in the hands of forces targeting Biafrans and Christians. Then when Christians are massacred, Turkey issue a statement condemning the killings. This is business that they are doing. Turkey is playing both sides. They condemn terrorism publicly to maintain their image, but they arm the Nigerian state that enables the terrorism privately because it is profitable. It suits the agenda and the objective of OIC and the D8. After signing the agreement, what happens? Full military integration is what they went into. They signed the agreement on 27, then immediately weapons flow into Nigeria. The drones, the helicopters, the firearms, they arrive and some go to the Nigerian military camp. Weapons that are supposed to fight Boko Haram, unquote, mysteriously end up in the hands of Fulani militias. What are we talking about here? Equipment that they said is meant to counter terrorism get used up against Christians and Biafrans in Biafra land. And then the massacre happened. How many people were killed? More than 300 have been slaughtered. Because the Fulani bandits are well armed, well coordinated. They have shared intelligence with them, operating with impunity. While the Nigerian security forces, they stand there and allow it to happen. When they have finished slaughtering the people, they now came up. And the only thing Turkey could do was to issue condemnation. We condemn this terrorism. We stand with Nigeria. You see what is happening? And Nigeria continue to lobby. While Turkey condemns the killing, Nigeria lobbying 10.6 million machine in Washington, D.C. to say there is no Christian genocide. So Turkey now says, oh, the killings are real, but keep selling weapons, eh? And Nigeria says, oh, the killings are exaggerated, but keep buying weapons. And the Christians are being killed every day. They can never ban Sharia. People have just been slaughtered because they refuse to accept Sharia. I am calling on the world, let Nigeria be divided. We are not stopping anyone from practicing their Sharia. But they should not impose it on non-Muslim. We don't want. We have our religion. They are not killing bed bugs. They are killing human beings. We know they cannot disband Hizbah. It is part of their religion. Let them go with it. We don't want to be part of it. We don't want, even the Miatiala, we don't want, because they made reference to it. In the US Congress, in what they call HRE is 860, he specifically called for this organization to be designated as entities of particular concern and sanction them. But as Nigeria arrested any Miatiala leader, the answer is no. Have they banned this organization? The answer is no. Instead, Gumi has come out to say, Kwara State people must accept Sharia if they want peace to reign. Just imagine. So rude, so mean. No concern for the number of people that have been slaughtered. That is the statement from Gumi today. They should accept it if they want peace to reign. And Turkey is supporting this agenda. Because he has done it to the Turkey court people, it is working. And you could see the Nigerian government, they don't care. They are carrying out their campaign for 2027 in the midst of Christians and their citizens that are being killed by the terrorists. They push them aside. They are busy embezzling money, positioning themselves for 2027 election. If they finish killing the people who will vote for them, of course we know that there is no voting in Nigeria. The results have already been written out. I'm still waiting to see if Tinubu will bow to the pressure of the Sharia Council to remove the what is it called, INEC chairman. Because him to remove the INEC chairman. If not, they will not accept result. I am still waiting to see if he will bow. So you see, they can mobilize thousands for a rally, but they can mobilize to protect villagers from jihadists. So this tells you everything that is their own priority. Election matters to them more than any other thing. Sharia matters to them more than any other thing. Hisbah matters to them more than the lives of people that are killed every day. And what are we supposed to do as Biafrans? Are we not supposed to come together and form? That is our target now. It will never end. This killing will never end. If we don't come together and fund our freedom and split ourselves, strike ourselves from this Nigerian contraption, the killings will never end. It continues. And they don't care. No matter what is happening, Nigeria don't care. I will leave my mic here before we go to the congressional hearing. I'm just trying to see how we can manage them. I don't know, my co-host, are you there before we go to the congressional hearing, or should we pass the mic?
Yeah, let's take one or two persons before we continue with the congressional hearing. Okay. Mazi and also Wamina Samonekwa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, Biafrans. My host, good afternoon, and or good evening from here. My co-host and Mazi Toti, greetings from here also. Mazi Onyeyelo, one of Biafra land, I greet you. Imanaga Bora Fagiro Ronis, Onamo Eti Biafra land, Manamo, when you go to Ebe will co-host. Yeah, Ndewosa. All right, I can see my big mommy, Mommy Love. I greet you, Mommy. Good afternoon. Mazi King David, God bless you, sir. See you, Mommy Betty. God bless you also. Good afternoon or good evening from here. This of Biafra, Auntie Eunice, Erico. I greet each and every one of us that has been
1
here.
million, you disappeared.
Exactly, my brother. I didn't disappear. It was the network. I tried several times to join, and it always happens like that. But anyways, we are all together, So thank you very much, our co-host, for this topic. Trying to make our people to understand some certain things. When we talk about this Takia and this their means of infiltrating or trying to, especially in the midst of progress, they always find a way, to target the people who are trying to liberate themselves. So, but the main point here, what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to bring more awareness to our people, especially our Biafran people all over the world, to understand that in this particular time, that we should be able to articulate, properly, because we are fighting for survival. We are not fighting for position. We are not fighting for relevance. No, we are fighting for our life. We are fighting for future, for hope. There is no hope without Biafra as a Biafra. That is the fact. There is no future without we restoring our land. There is no hope. So now, as it stands now, we can see the topic we have here, which says that the Nigerian total security failure has made Biafrans to be mentally tough. That is exactly the point that I expect. That is exactly the point that I expect at least each and every one of us to be at this particular time. Mentally tough. Because seeing all these things that we are seeing, we do not need anybody to tell you. You do not need anybody to tell you that this is what you are supposed to do and this is where you are supposed to focus. That is the point. They have already failed. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, they have already failed for a very long time, not even now. So, and we have seen so many evidences, so many facts that they have been covering, even from you not even being aware, but with the head of the Biafran government in exile, and the international lobbies, this awareness has now come, full blown, and to an extent that Nigeria has now become a country of a particular concern. So a country that has already been designated as a country of particular concern is a failed state. And what should that be as an advantage to we, the Biafran people? It should be an advantage to us for we to have more mental to understand that we have to fight and defend our land. We have to fight and defend our life. If not, Nigeria as a failed state, it will consume us. So that is the reason why we have to be mentally tough at this particular time and be focused. There are 101 evidence to prove to you that Nigeria is a failed state.
So please, just 2 seconds, please. Sorry for the interjection. Tutos, please check your back channel, and you can go ahead. Tutos, check your back channel. You can go ahead, Mazin. Sorry for that.
Thank you very much. So, you see, every day we keep coming up with different, topic that is really targeted at us, we the Biafran people. Because I have said this several times that at this particular time we have so many advantage. It is very, very clear. But how I wish our people will understand and make very good use of this advantage we have now. It is our own. It is in our own advantage, despite the kidnapping of our leader. Despite not even only did it start from our leader Mazin Abikano? Did it start from our prime minister? Those of you that are thinking that you do you know how many of our brothers and sisters that have been kidnapped? Do we know how many of our brothers and sisters that have been taken away, that have been disappeared? Do we know how many of them? Do we know how many that have gone innocently? So when we see all these things, it should give us the morale. It should give us the mental toughness to continue to pursue our aim. Because all these things that they are doing is just to target at us. It's just to weaken our strength. It's just to make sure that they terminate this future, this hope that we cannot even wait to see. So how can we allow ourselves to be distracted in the midst of progress, in the midst of success, in the midst of achieving our aim? How can we afford to be distracted by some few individuals? Biafrans, we have so many advantages at this particular time. The United States of America, they are not just speaking because they felt that there is something that prompts all these things that we are seeing today. And now we have seen that most of all these senators, all these congressmen, they are with Biafra government in exile, supporting what we are doing legitimately. What are we expected to do? We have to. We should follow due process and support our freedom. That is the only hope. That is the only way. The advantage that we have now today, Nigeria is being investigated. So many sanctions are coming. So now the American government, the soldiers, they are in Nigeria now, but they are not in Biafran land because they know exactly where the problem is. So why can't we use this advantage to make sure that we pursue and achieve what we want? That is the only way our leaders that you people claim that you love so much, that is the only way they will be released. That is the only way they will be free. Our brothers and sisters, they will be free. That is the only way. Even you yourself that think that you are free, that is the only way you will be free. So the advantage that we have now, it is very, very important that we do not lose our focus. We do not allow anything to distract us at this particular time. We have seen how Nigeria is running from one country to another, like the way they are running to Turkey today. All these things that they are doing, you see, they go to Turkey, they bring arms and all sorts of ammunition. At the end of the day, it all ends up in Biafran land. What are they targeting? What are they trying to do? If they succeed, if we do not do what we have to do, if we do not take the advantage that we have at this particular time, what will be our hope? What will be your faith? We have a government in exile. We have the de facto in the homeland. What are we doing? Why should we allow ourselves to be distracted at this time? Biafrans, the time is now. You all have to come out from wherever you are. Join and support Biafra government in exile. Join and support Biafra government in exile. Those of you who are allowing yourself to be used somehow to infiltrate or sabotage, be warned. There is no way. There is no way. You can never succeed. That is the reason why. Go and ask those of them that have tried in before. They have all disappeared. They have all faded away. But not that it's not as if that we have forgotten. They are all numbered as well. So if you like, allow yourself to be used. If you allow yourself to be used. So, but one thing is very, very certain is that none of you are going to succeed. Because the hand of God is in what we are doing. Our leaders will be released. Everything that is happening today is according to the will of God. But we have to apply our wisdom. We have to apply our focus. We have to concentrate. We do not have to be distracted at this particular time. But I just want us to know that God is in control. He knows exactly what He is doing. He is giving each and every one of you a day of grace. A day of grace. And we should also remember that the more we are delaying this our freedom, the more some of you are allowed yourself to be used, infiltrating or sabotaging, the more our brothers and sisters they are suffering. The more they are burning their businesses. Nobody is speaking for them. It is only Biafra government in Ezra that is speaking for them. Now they have locked our main market in Onitsha. It is only Biafra government in Ezra that is speaking for them. Today, if anything happens today, it's only Biafra government in exile that is speaking for each and every one of us. Why can't we see any reason for us to, focus and support this government that is speaking, that is making sure that the American government is concerned about the massacre, the genocide against Christians in Nigeria today? Why can't we open our eyes and see, since that criminal locked that is trying to lock on the Chamber market? Have there been in anywhere, even from the Zoo media, or even from those other groups, or all these infiltrators groups, or those cult professors? Have you ever seen any of them show any concern? Have you ever seen any of them issue or make any statements concerning that? But instead, maybe whenever you see them talking about something, they will be gossiping. It is only gossiping, but they don't have anything doing. It is only the Biafra government in exile that is standing and supporting the people, making sure that our mandate is being heard internationally. So, Biafras, we have to open our eyes. We do not have to allow ourselves to be distracted at this time and make very good use of the advantage we have. There are so many advantages we have. We should not allow our leaders that they kidnapped. Nigerian government, they committed an international crime. They know whether they sentence him life imprisonment or it is just we that give them the time. If for all this while, if I wish we knew from the beginning, when our ex-prime minister was telling us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, we knew we knew that he was kidnapped. When we knew that he was kidnapped, what should we have done?
How much?
Somebody went to kidnap person and they are taking him to court. And Biafrans, we're giving them attention. We are listening. Not until we decided to say, okay, we will sit at home. After 1 or 2 years later, we begin to sit at home because we see that these criminals. Because I have not seen anywhere that somebody will go and kidnap somebody and you not pay ransom. Then you expect that person to be released. Which ransom have we paid? They want you to sacrifice the Biafran to drop our freedom. Then they will release him now. Have you dropped your freedom? Now, what is the other choice? The other choice is that for him to be released, since you don't want to drop your freedom, why don't you focus and pursue that freedom in every dimension, in everything? Why don't you focus? Because you know that when you get that freedom, in fact, when you get it on time, that's your leader. He will be released. But we lack this mental toughness. We lack this advantage. For a very long time, we have advantage. Right from the day Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, that was when we're supposed to begin to focus and begin to do what we're supposed to do. Just focus on our government. That was what we were expected to do, because this government is not just government that is doing something out of its own. This is a government that is doing things, according to law. A government that is telling you that you have the right to defend yourself. And some of you will not understand. When you know that Nigeria has failed in its security, Nigeria has a contraction negotiates with Boko Haram. You have seen it broad daylight, and you have a government in exile. Don't you have a praise? Don't you have trust? Don't you have your praise to make Christian? Don't you understand the meaning of government in exile? Government in exile is not a group. It's not something that you will just come out and say. Government in exile, that you have seen evidences of them meeting great men and women that matters in the world. Because of our own sake, not because they are meeting them to snap picture or meeting them to have a handshake. Discussing about Biafra, discussing about our freedom. Making sure that Nigeria is being disseminated, making sure that Nigeria is being brought to book. The only government that is speaking as a whole. Is there anywhere in that all this evil that is happening? Is there anywhere that you have heard it being reported? They kidnapped our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Simply, what was his what? Because they are targeting you. They are targeting me. If they had this, when they kidnap Mazi, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if everybody have gone to sleep, they have said, do you think that he will still be there? Because they did not succeed. When they saw that they did not succeed, don't we have brains? Before they went to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they make sure they infiltrate everything, even everything that was set, for our freedom. But God, in His infinite mercy, He took charge, and we elevated to another stage that that took them on our way. They were very, very shocked, and they were in a very serious panic mode. Instead of us to open our eyes and see and make very good use of the advantage that we have, even before now, even then, some of you choose to sabotage. Some of you choose to be relevant at a time that we are fighting for survival. At a time, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was brutally kidnapped. Was brutally kidnapped and brought to the zoo. Instead of us to be focused, some of us choose to be listening to gossip. This is very, very bad. It is very, very sad. This is not exactly what we need. I am letting you know now today that they were targeting you and I. They could not succeed when they saw that the kidnapping of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not yield any fruit. Instead, they were paying dearly. And what compared that? It was Biafran government in exile, because the contraction understand the meaning of government in exile. Even though they came out and they tried to criticize the Biafran government in exile, they came to criticize our ex-prime minister. They called it so many names. They did a whole lot of this. But so many of you have seen today that Nigeria is a propaganda contraction. Nigeria, they cannot survive with that lie. They cannot survive without deceit. They are takia. These people are a bunch of monsters. So, understanding that fact, we should have known that Biafran government in exile has come to stay and has come to deal with the Sioux. That was when we're supposed to focus more. But what happened? They've now left our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who they kidnapped. The only thing that they will do is that small time they will deceive you people and say they are taking him to court. Then everybody now focus. We go there. Then the next thing, they will come out and say, now, no, it is a ex-prime minister. They are putting bounty. They will use this one. They will use that one. They did everything. To the extent, when they now find out that all those their criticism is not working, that even the more they criticize, the more the government gets more support. The more they criticize, the more the government elevates. What did they do? They put everything in place to make sure that they say, it is better we stop this man so that we'll be able to get these people. Page of our convention, 2024, they took him away. What happened? Over 517 Biafrans stormed Finland on the first day of arrival for that convention. It was a history that was made. That shows the resolute. That shows a very strong message then. But what happens? They didn't stop there. They went forward to infiltrate more. Even though we thought that we were even suffering from the one that we were complaining. Now it has become true. But we are still focused. I could remember that at the end of that convention, before we left, the few opportunity that we have to convert with my brothers and sisters, the words that the only thing that came from my mouth was that this time around, that the only thing that we need to do is funding. That was exactly what we agreed. That was exactly what we were supposed to have focused on. I said that as immediately as we are coming back, we need to just focus on funding. We need to focus on funding. That was my point. But anyway, let me just hold it on here so that maybe someone else will come in. Yeah, thank you very much, Mazi. I think I have held the mic for a very long time now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mazi, for your understanding. You know, our host still have one more topic for us. So when she's done, then we can open the mic for everyone just to come in and contribute more from the ones that we've already done. Before I will bring in the host to the mic, Best Biafra, are you there? Best Biafra. Unmute yourself. Best Biafra, are you there? All right, host, are you there? Tutels, are you there?
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Thank you so much, my co-host. You see, I love having you as a co-host. Guy, you always have my back. Thank you so much. 1 million, our minister. Thank you for your submission. You know, Toti is well organized with Tonyenye. In fact, all our co-hosts, we are professionals. Thank you so much. Okay, Biafrans. The next one is for us to look at the congressional hearing that took place and how the focus was on Nigeria. You know, the focus was on Nigeria. There was no witness there that did not make reference to Nigeria. But before we go there, let's just remind ourselves that the congressional hearing and the mentioning of the name Nigeria did not fall from the sky. It is because our lobbies are extremely effective. So I just want to spend like a few minutes and play this interview.
But on the other side, Biafra linked groups are also lobbying.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Sanctions, recognition. Yes, but just trying to increase the volume a little bit.
Yeah, that's the highest volume. I think later the volume will increase on it.
Well, serious enough that you've got people like Ted Cruz, who is the Conservative senator who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. he's a big supporter of the Biafra government in exile. He's a big supporter, actually, of the Somaliland region in East Africa. And Mike Pompeo, who was the former Secretary of State, and that was under Trump's first term. And Pompeo is a very devout evangelical Christian, and so is Cruz. And they're combining the two things. But they're talking about the rights of the people of Nigeria, and also this issue again of protecting Christians. So yeah, they've got a lot of sway within the Republican Party, and a lot of this stuff, Charles, is about sentiment as much as anything else. It's often free from, shall we say, established facts and evidence. It's a sense that these are evangelical Christians who put that belief above all else. And the Biafran lobbyists have been extremely effective over probably 20 years, working through the religious right in the US, which brings together a lot of these evangelical groups, and they're big financiers of the Republican Party. And as the Republican Party has moved to the right, so have they. And they've become a big mobilizer of votes for the Republican Party. So there are people who are evangelical Christians who may not like the look of Donald Trump and his various comments about women and all the rest of it, but they bury that concern for the greater good, which they say is the man is for Christians, he's for evangelical Christians, and in that case we're going to give him our support. So Trump, the evangelical base, critically Trump, and that's, I think, accounts for some of the success of the Biafra lobby in the US.
Well, that's a very illuminating assessment from you. And in that context, Patrick, I mean, is there a risk that fringe or poorly sourced claims that begin to shape US foreign policy towards Nigeria? So Nigeria's internal security crisis is no longer just a domestic issue, but a high-stakes battle for influence in Washington, according to the UK-based Africa Confidential newsletter that's built a global reputation for original reporting and analysis of key political and security developments across Africa. As competing narratives over claims of a Christian genocide gain traction in the US, the Nigerian government and the Afro secessionist groups are now locked in war.
We are locked in an aggressive lobbying war. Yes. Locked in an aggressive lobbying war. That is the section I want to go now. Because we are locked there. But guess what? The Biafrans are winning. While the Nigerian terrorist government keep on signing contract, I just said the contract now are 3 contracts. 3 good contracts that they have signed, not only DCI. Let's talk about the U.S. congressional hearing that took place between 4th and 5th, depending on your time zone. And we are going to look at the witnesses and then the testimony by testimony, because what was said in that room validates everything Biafrans have been saying for years. And the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee had a joint hearing of the Subcommittee on Africa and a Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere. And the title was Defending Religious Freedom Around the World. And we had multiple witnesses that testified, and congressional members were questioned and all that and all that. And the consensus was overwhelming, I would say. Nigeria is engaged in systematic persecution of Christians, and the U.S. must act. So, let's start from the witness, and I'll start from Congressman Chris Smith. Yes. Who is the architect of this committee. And he's the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Africa, and he has been the most relentless voice in Congress on Christian persecution in Nigeria for years. He did not just start yesterday. So he understands the game. So when people go and pay lobbyists huge amounts of dollars, the man was just like, what are these people doing? Something that he has witnessed firsthand, you cannot deceive him. So he introduced resolution calling for Nigeria's designation as a country of particular concern in 2022 and again in 2025. And he said, she opened by framing religious freedom as America's first freedom and connected it to global persecution. And if you listen to what Patrick Smith said, that is where we drew our strength from. Because the goal of Donald Trump. Now, when you listen to what Patrick said, Patrick did not mention any group. He did not mention any group that is doing what? Extremely effective. There was nothing like USB charger. There was nothing like a BCG, whatever you call them, the good professors. There was nothing like DOS or whatever other group exists out there. He made reference to Biafra Republic government in exile, and he also made reference to Biafra Republic government lobbyists that are doing what? Extremely effective. So he knows exactly how effective we have been, that the other groups are just noisemakers. When they say they don't have money, they will fabricate stories to extort money from Biafrans. Create panic where there is no panic. Formulate news where there are no news. So the man said, more than 380 million Christians suffer high level of persecution and discrimination for their faith, according to Open Doors 2025 World Watch list. And then he turned specifically to Nigeria. I may not be able to go through all the witnesses because of time, but I will just focus on that one, those ones that are very, very paramount. He said, on the top of Nigeria, President Trump's country of particular concern designated in October was necessary. Yes, so long overdue and bold, because no other presidents have done that except Donald Trump. No other country have the boldness to designate Nigeria as CPC. Why? Because they are benefiting from Nigeria. They want us to continue to die while they keep on exploiting. So they don't want to dent their image and relationship with Nigeria. But the United States of America was bold enough to designate Nigeria as CPC. He said in his first administration, with the strong backing of his ambassador at large, Sam Brownback. I just love all the statement that Sam Brownback made that day. And he said, President Trump recognized that the mass killing by Boko Haram, ISIS, West African, and armed Fulani terrorists against Christians in the Middle Belt, which were clearly motivated by ethnic and religious animals, meant Nigeria met the criteria for a CPC designation. Now, if you notice the language there, it said Christians in the Middle Belt. And what again? Ethnic and religious animals. So this is not just terrorism. This is targeted violence against specific group. And now, who do you think he will now classify under these ethnic and religious animals? Biafrans. Because he has already singled out Middle Belt. So who are these other ethnic and religious animals? This has to do with Biafrans in our region, Biafra land. We are targeted. This is the reason you could find Turkey a weapon in Biafra land. Because Turkey have seen us to be terrorists. And Smith now have recognized that we are being killed because they've labeled us terrorists. And they said, no, instead of them to send their troops to Biafra land, let us send them to the northern parts where the terrorists are killing people. And he continued, he said, tragically and inexplicably, President Biden and Secretary Blinken took Nigeria off the list. This man can never forget this thing. Anytime they have a Congress hearing, he must make reference to this because it is still pending until date. The number of people that have died within this period that Nigeria was removed from CPC. He said, effectively giving the Nigerian government a free pass for enabling religious violence. You see, why he can never forget making reference to this period of time. A lot has happened, giving Nigerian government a free pass for enabling religious violence. Thousands have died because of this single act that was done. And, he quoted the Genocide Watch calling Nigeria a killing field of defenseless Christians. Did he give his recommendation? Yes, he did. He emphasized that the CPC designation comes with 15 different policy tools, including sanctions and economic penalties. He said, now, I love this statement that this man did. Now that it is hot, now that it is very, very hot, something has to be done. He said, now, while the iron is hot, we must urge the government of Nigeria to protect the rights of persecuted Christians and non-radical Muslims. The CPC designation is a phenomenal first step. Built on statute, it is accompanied by 15 different policy tools that can and must be employed to improve the situation on ground. These policies are online. I'll try to see if I can bring in some, if time permits. If not, we'll leave it, maybe for another day. So for us now, you could see that when the chairman of the African subcommittee says Nigeria is a killing field and is pushing for the remaining 15 policy tools, including sanctions, that creates space. That creates space for our own advocacy. That is if we are ready. If we are ready. Because what we can say now is very clear that the US Congress agrees with us. Nigeria is oppressive and self-determination is the only solution. Whether those in the middle belt accept it or not, whether they want to die with Nigeria as we've seen it in the tweet, they are free to continue with Nigeria. We Biafrans do not want to continue to live with Nigeria. We are not forcing anyone to dissociate themselves from Nigeria. But we as Biafrans, we have taken our grounds. We are not going to continue to share the same country with Nigeria. Because why? We are not Muslim people. We don't want. Self-determination is the only solution and we have to live. Nothing like, let's see what Nigerian government will do. They will do nothing. More than 300 people were slaughtered within 72 hours. And everywhere is silent. Nobody is talking about it. Why were they slaughtered? Because they rejected Sharia. Why is everywhere silent? Because that is the target. That is the objective. You see what is happening? And we had a second witness. I love this man so much. Ambassador Sam Brank-Back, which says the deadliest place on earth is Nigeria to live as a Christian. He is the former U.S. ambassador at large for international religious freedom under President Trump between 2018 and 2021. And he's a former governor of Kansas, former U.S. senator, and is currently co-chair of the International Religious Freedom Summit. If I see this man, I would have hugged him because he was there giving out points about the genocide in Nigeria. So this is a testimony that should be on every Biafran lips if you are a Biafran. If anybody tells you stay in Nigeria, say no. Because this man, Brambach, was absolutely devastating. Nigeria is the deadliest place on the planet to be a Christian. That was his comment. And if anybody tells you to stay in Nigeria as a Biafran, tell the person that it is the deadliest place on the planet to be a Christian. Not one, deadliest place. Not among the most dangerous. No, it is the deadliest place to live as a Christian. A former U.S. diplomat with access to classified intelligence testified before the Congress that Nigeria is the deadliest place on earth for Christians. Do you know what that means? He cannot just come out and say things that he doesn't have backup or verified information or fact. I need to say that early warning signs of a Muslim or Christian war are brewing across Africa, and Nigeria sits at the center of that danger. Nigeria sits at the center of this danger because Nigeria has become the killing field for Christians. Even to non-Muslims who refuse to accept Sharia, they slaughter them. Non-Muslims who do not want to accept jihadists, they slaughter them. So he said, persecuted faith communities are America's greatest allies in the spread of freedom. And are we persecuted? The answer is yes. So it means we fall under this category. When our Prime Minister tells you that Biafra is here, he's telling you what he knows. Because from the statement that this man made, we are automatically one of the allies, in fact, the main allies with America. Persecuted faith communities are what? America's greatest allies in the spread of freedom. That is why we've gathered here. And that protecting them is both a moral imperative and a strategic necessity. How will they protect us? It is only when me and you, when we are ready, then the protection will come. This is the same man, I said if I see him, I will run and hug him. He was the one that gave this critical warning about foreign actors coming in. He was the one that connected something that we've been saying since we started this space. He raised concern about foreign involvement in Nigeria. Involvement from countries such as China, Russia, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia in Nigeria's security environment could further complicate stability if not carefully monitored. Is it complicating? Yes. Did we find weapons of Turkey in Biafra land? Yes. Will we continue to find it? Yes. Because Nigeria is buying it every day. Nigeria is spreading their tentacle to all the members of OIC and D8. Because one of the objectives of OIC is wherever anyone threatens your sovereign integrity, that they will come together to fund you to make sure that you are not threatened, your sovereignty is not threatened. And it is playing out. But the question everybody should ask is, why are they still putting one leg in the United States to get weapons and to get help? And why? That shows you that United States of America is number one. Because with all the members of OIC surrounding them, 57, they are not still confident in themselves. They still want to align themselves with US. When US lead, others will follow. They know that once US recognize us, Biafrans, that other nations will follow. So they are doing everything possible to blind America from recognizing Biafra. And do you think that will happen if we give them the chance to do so? That powerful nation that they are doing everything, spending millions to lobby against the work of our breeding, against the work of our lobbying firm. The same Turkey that signed 9 military cooperation agreement with Nigeria on January 27th. The same Turkey whose weapons are showing up in Biafra land. The same Turkey that Congressman Smith had warned about. Brownback is telling Congress that Nigeria is aligning with authoritarian Islamic powers, which is Turkey. Turkey is number one. And this will make Christian persecution worse every day if it is not monitored. So he's warning about genocide. He warned that failure to act decisively could allow violence to escalate to something similar to what is seen in Iraq right now. So when you see this former US ambassador, calling Nigeria the deadliest place for Christians and warn about genocide, it is something that we should take seriously. That is assessment, a strategic one, based on intelligence. Not the one a trauma or government did without reading what was stipulated on the document of that amendment, citizenship amendment. She jumped out and instilled fears in the minds of Biafrans that are so emotional. This one has taken time to study, gathered fact and intelligence to tell you this is what it is. So this validates everything we have been saying. We are not exaggerating. We are not, giving any false information out there. We are stating facts. And this is what Bianca Ojukwu had signed in agreement with Turkey to stop us from doing. And we said no. We had Another beautiful witness, which is witness 3, Congressman Maria. Bipartisan support. She was there for that. And then she's a chairwoman of the Foreign House Affairs Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere. But when she heard about Nigeria, she had to jump into it and did not just focus on the Western Hemisphere, like the Cuban, She jumped and said something about Nigeria. Is the daughter of the exiles who fled the communists in Cuba, former Emmy Award-winning journalist. You could see her beautiful face. And, she co-head the hearing, showing this is not just a Republican issue. She emphasized that while her subcommittee focuses on the Western Hemispheres, this Nicaragua and Cuba and Venezuela, she fully supports the designation of Nigeria as a CPC because there is no human being on earth that will hear about Nigerian genocide that will say, okay, I have nothing to contribute. She pointed to the violence in Nigeria by the Islamic group perpetrated against predominantly Christian communities, but also in some cases moderate Muslim communities. And she gave her recommendation. She said she supports the full deployment of the 15 policy, just like what Smith said. And she co-sponsored HRES 860, which, what does it do? That commends President Trump for designating Nigeria CPC and calls for conditioning U.S. foreign assistance to Nigeria on immediate action to address religious freedom violation. And she demanded targeted sanction under global Magnetic framework. Calls for placing Fulani ethnic militias and Mietela group on the entities of particular concern list, which I said before I started.
Hello? Hello? Odima.